Okay, now listen up. This here's a line, but you knew that. Notice when I drew the line, I started at this point right here and drew the line off in a certain direction. In this case, straight out to the right, see? Now, if I was to ask you to draw another line that started at that same point and went off in some other direction, I think you'd see there are a lot of lines you could draw, right? For instance, you could draw a line off in that direction, or this direction, or like so. You could just keep going on and on and on. So how can we talk about the relationship between these lines? Well, one way is to measure the distance between those directions. And we call this the angle between the two lines, right? And we measure angles in units called degrees. Now, I know that's the same word we use to measure temperatures, but this is a different kind of degree, right? We're talking about angles here, not temperatures. I don't know why somebody couldn't make up two different words, but don't ask me, all right? Okay, but now just like temperatures, sometimes instead of writing out the word degrees, we use this little symbol here, see? I write out, say, 45 degrees. That little circle there, that means degrees. Got that? So, angles are measured starting over here at 1 degree, and the increase as this outer line rotates away from the first line going this way. That's called counterclockwise, right? Okay, so again, remember, the hands on the clock move in this direction, right? And that direction is called clockwise. So the opposite direction, that's called counterclockwise. Now, here we see the number of degrees getting bigger and bigger until we get to right here, with the second line pointing straight up. This angle is 90 degrees. This is a very important angle called a right angle. See that little quarter marker there? That means that's a right angle. And maybe I'll tell you some more about right angles some other day, but right now let's keep going. See, because the number of degrees keeps on going up all the way until the second line is going straight off to the left, completely the opposite direction of the first line. I know it don't look like an angle, it looks like one straight line. But remember, we started by drawing two different lines that both started at the same point and went off in different directions. This angle is called 180 degrees. So what if I draw a line off in any old direction? How do I know what the angle between these two lines is? Well, we can use something called a protractor. Not like a farmer's tractor, this is something else. See, this is usually a piece of clear plastic that you can see right through it, right? See that? It's got the degree measurements marked along the outside edge here. So when you want to use it, you line up the origin, or the center point of the protractor, which is this right here, see? With the point where the two line segments meet. Then you just count the number of degrees marked. Kind of just like reading a ruler, right? This angle here is, let's see, 120, 125, 26, 127 degrees. Of course, you can also use a protractor to draw a particular angle. In that case, you just draw a little mark right next to the angle you want, like, let's say, 54, so right here. And then you use a straight edge to draw a line from the center point to your mark, like, oh, look here, here's one right here. Boom. Ta-da! Oh, one last thing before I finish up here. We've been using this flat level line to start with, just to make things easier, right? But you can use this here protractor to measure the angle between any two lines, as long as they're touching each other. You just have to rotate it so that the 0 degree mark right here lines up with the first line, and then measure the angle between them like so. Huh? Easy. Okay, that's it for this lesson. Thanks for listening, and be good out there.